Hello, this is David from Heart of the Lion School of Martial Arts. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. Look, I've had a haircut. I look pretty. No, don't worry about that. Anyway, today I want to talk about situational awareness and also is it a good idea to put your kids into martial art training? And the answer is yes, it is all possible. And it is all positive. It's the best thing I can say about it. It's all positive. You can't tell in this shot, but I have lost 10 pounds since like a month ago. Okay, I was at 245 pounds and I am at 235 pounds, roughly. Depending on the scale, it's within a pound or so. Wow. Oh, okay. I'm like this because I just took a nap, and in a little while I have to go to work. But let's just go on from here. The positive things about going to martial arts school with your children and having your kids in martial art classes is one of the big things. They learn discipline. Discipline. Wow. No, it's not the type of discipline where your kid gets smacked around and you go sit down and play in the corner. No, it's self-discipline. And self-discipline is something that's pretty much not taught in the American home. And it's not just something that is taught anymore. Most parents, they want to go to work, they want to come home, not be bothered by the kids, and just go about their lives with the blah attitude. And then the kids are like, Dad's just sitting on the couch watching TV, or Mom's not paying attention to me because she's busy with her stuff that she's doing. You get this kid that is undisciplined, and he's undisciplined in the mind. And I'm very lucky that when I was a very young man, starting at about the age of 5, my mom met a Chinese person, a Chinese man. He was about 5'6". He probably weighed 150 pounds, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, he asked me one day, "You want to learn how to defend yourself?" I'm going like, "Yeah. I've been bullied in classes and some of the kids around the neighborhood. Okay." So I started learning Kung Fu. And Kung Fu is very, very hard to learn. So you have to learn the discipline it takes to stick with it and do all of the little things that Kung Fu teaches. What's a circular block? How you move your hands, and make a punch, and do a thrust, and do the mental, like the push-ups and the push-downs and the different movements that you have to learn in doing Kung Fu. And so I did that. I learned from this. Now, I call him a master. I call him a Sifu because, during those years, I didn't know any better. I didn't know exactly what his rank was in martial arts until I was about 12 years old. He leaves, gone. And I'm kind of like, okay, what do I do now? So, being disciplined and wanting to continue my growth in the martial arts, I started looking for other schools. I was like, wow, he's gone, so what do I do? Okay, so forgive me. So I went looking for other martial arts schools, and I studied some jiu-jitsu for a while, which is very, very, very intense. You learn how to throw people on the ground and how to get out of moves, and they have you all locked up, and you're like, I can't move. And you learn how to manipulate your body and to manipulate the other person's body to get out of certain situation. Well, there we go again. The instructor that I had, gone, takes off. He goes back to, I don't know where he went. And so I'm like, okay, now I've learned some jiu-jitsu and, getting good at it, and I'm like, okay, now what? Okay, so I find that I'm like, I don't like just sitting around not doing anything. So I found another school, and it was an Aikido school. I learned Aikido and how to do throws and pins and takedowns and other type of manipulation of how to do certain things. And I found that this art was very, what I call a soft art, very soft. Not much hard hitting and stuff like that. And it just wasn't, I learned a lot of stuff from it, but it just wasn't me. So after a while, I just, okay, this ain't me. I've learned as much as that I care to from this particular instructor. And he was a very soft-spoken man. He was very easygoing, and I needed more. So his school just didn't last very long. It closed down. The reasons why it closed down, I don't know. He may have had to go somewhere. I did know that he was in the military, and they may have shipped him off. But later on, I had friends that were in the different martial arts around town, and one of them asked me if I would join him and go to the it was Tong Sudo, and I went to the Tong Sudo and I met um, the master of the school. I'll just say that, and I got to going to his school for a while, and it was nice. We learned a lot of Tong Sudo things, and he was very hard on us, and I liked going to class, and it wasn't a point of the school or the instructor. At that particular time, he was very much money orientated, where everything you did, every test was expensive. When he was selling his uniforms and stuff, it just got too costly. Okay, and my family just couldn't afford to have me go to this school, so I had to quit. It was me. I'm the one that had to go because of affordability. And the things that had happened after that, I was in my middle teens, about 15 years old, and I had a motorcycle at the time, and I had a motorcycle accident, and I crushed my foot between my bike and a car that just turned in front of me real quick, and I went, bounced off the side of his car, laying in the middle of the street. My foot's in agony, and some people that come along helped me pick up my bike and drag it off to the side of the road, and I hobbled off to the side of the road, and I managed to start my bike back up. I managed to ride it home. My mom took me straight to the hospital, and they wrapped my foot, and they said, I'm a very lucky young man. There's no broken bones. And my foot was about the size of a football, And he said, any cracks or anything that's wrong with my foot, just gonna have to heal. So I had to put an ice on it, and heat and ice and heat, and anyway, because of that accident and some time going by for my foot to heal, I finally was at a point where I could take the time and hobble on down to the 7-Eleven, and when I had got my crutches and my money, and I hobbled on down to the 7-Eleven, and I went from the 7-Eleven down. I went to the 7-Eleven down back alley, but I got my drink and some other stuff, and I knew that it was lunchtime, and I wanted to get a sandwich. Well, the sandwich shop was over there on the corner. That was also on my way home. So I went from the 7-Eleven, and I'm hobbling down the street, and the name of the street was Broadway in Chula Vista, and I'm hobbling up toward my street, and I hear this loud noise, and wow, okay, what's that? And I'm peek in the door, and there was this small-statured man who had a plate steel on the floor, and he took a river bottom stone, another river bottom stone, and took another stone, put it on top of it this way. And that loud noise was, Kia! And he was breaking the top stone with this part of his hand. It's called the ridge hand. Anyway, and I said, wow, I want to learn how to do that. Anyway, he must have heard me or popped his head up long enough to see me standing there in his doorway. And his English wasn't so good. He was from Lebanon. And I learned all this as I got to talk to him. And he popped over and talked to me, and we were talking about what he was doing. And he had just opened up this martial arts school right there on Broadway. And it wasn't a very big school. I mean, it was like 12, 15 feet across and maybe 20, 30 feet long. And there wasn't very much room in this small spot to have a lot of people. So in the early days of learning with him, it was a lot of personal experience of being directly instructed by the master of the school, a lot more individualized. And with all of the things that I learned from him, discipline was, self-discipline was the most thing that I learned or I instilled into myself, because I enjoyed being there. And he was the type of person who was very stern. You learn to do this, and you learn how to do this correctly. None of this, I kind of want to learn it, or I kind of don't want to. No, you learn. And you learned to not question what the instructor is talking about, because he was very, very informative on his teaching. He said, if you have a question on why I'm doing such and such thing, then I'm not explaining it to you correctly. I'm not answering your questions before you have a question. So I was just like, oh, that is cool. And he explains, okay, this is the reason why you make a fist a certain way. This is the reason why you punch with these two knuckles. This is the reason why when you hit, you keep your forearm straight. I'm using that as an example, because he did that explanation for all of the techniques. He explained what a front stance is, why you have a certain percentage forward and a certain percentage backwards, and why your back leg is locked or not locked or bent, and the different stances that you do. And he left you with very few questions to ask. And he always said, anything that you want to ask me, please just ask me at the end of class. And at the end of class, he would say, any questions? Those who had questions, I'll answer that momentarily. Or this is the answer right now, if it was a short answer. Okay? If we had to do a longer answer, then maybe you want to take the person off to the side and say, okay, this is the explanation of why that is done a certain way. And because of my self-discipline, I went to classes 4, 5 different classes every day. I helped out with the white belts. I helped out with the green belts. I helped out with the intermediate classes. As I got further into my martial art training, I even got to the point where I was teaching. And because of all of the correctness of what each movement is and how we do it, I was able to take over whole classes. I helped teach for the Chula Vista Police Department. I helped teach for our women's self-defense and bullying classes. I was there. I was at the point before I left to go from California to Texas. I became a 3rd degree black belt under Grandmaster David Shanine. I was told, when you get to Texas, open up a school. I said, yes, Master. I will. Not I'll try, or maybe you'll see what I can do. I said, yes, Master, I will. And when I got to Texas, it was 1997 is when we got to Texas. I opened up a martial arts school in late 97. It was going great. Had about 100 students. And in 98, October of 98, there was a big flood. And there was my school was underwater pretty much. There was 4 feet of water inside the school. And all of the equipment and everything just got lost. And at that point, I think personally I just lost it. So my personal dedication and everything, I mean, sometimes life hits you. And it hit me pretty hard. And no matter about my own discipline in the martial arts, it was something very traumatic. Well, anyway. Should you put your kids into martial arts? Yes. Yes. Will it help them? Yes. It will help them in many, many, many different ways. If your kid starts out in martial arts and they're a skinny, scrawny little kid that needs strengthening, they're going to get their body strengthened through the martial arts. They'll get their minds strengthened in the martial arts. They'll um, get more out of the martial arts than you would ever think that they would. More kids that are in the martial arts tend to help other kids from being bullied and other things. I mean, and if you have a bully who's just, I'm gonna beat you up because I can, or whatever, and you have a kid who stands up to him and says, I'm not gonna let you bully me anymore, or I'm not gonna let you bully my friend anymore. I can only see that as positive. I can only see that as positive because of many things that have happened to me in my life. I've had guys who are much bigger than I try to bully me because I'm short. Hey, I'm only 5'6", and I've run into people that are much taller, much bigger muscles and so on and so forth. And I just be positive in your mindset that no, I'm not going to let you pick on me. I'm not going to let you bully me. Be positive. And that's helped me, in just saying no. If you want to throw a punch at me, go ahead. Go ahead. But I'm going to hit you back, and I'm going to fight back with everything that I have. And it's because of what I've learned in the martial arts. One of the best things that my instructor used to tell me, most all of them say this, the best defense is a good offense. But if you can walk away from a fight, walk away. Or Master Chinese says, don't be there. Somebody throws a kick at you, you jump back, you missed. I'm not there. I'm over here. He doesn't talk like that exactly, but that's just my thing. But yeah, best defense is don't be there. But if you have to do a defense, be strong. That's what my motto of the school is. It's Heart of the Lion School of Martial Arts. Gentle and strong. You can be gentle like a lioness taking care of her cubs, or you can be strong like the lion defending his family. And I mean, a lion or a person who has the lion heart in him is the person who not just defends his family, but can go out and defend his country and go out and defend his fellow man. Okay, with love, I say all these things to anybody who wants to listen. And thank you for listening, and have a good day.